Hello, welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally with the Spendthrift Trust. I want to introduce you to how to save taxes. Let's start off with 3 simple questions. Number 1, do you want to leave a legacy from future generations? Put yes or no into the chat. Number 2, do you want to save taxes year after year, generation after generation? Again, please put yes or no into the chat. And the last question, do you want to learn how all lawsuits become frivolous and go away? Put yes or no into the chat. The Spendthrift Trust is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and both times it's been favored. It comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. That famous king who chopped off his wives' heads started the Church of England. Murder a few ladies, start a church. Why not? He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went further back to the 13th century, the Magna Carta, and said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came to the colonies while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. So now it's 352 years old. Our current tax code that we're under went into effect February of 1913. It's only supposed to be around for a few years, but the United States got involved with World War I, and it's only grown and grown and grown since then. The super rich families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys, made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. My name is Sally Gimmon, and I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com. With the trust, you're going to save in 4 very important ways. Number 1, you're going to save taxes year after year, generation after generation. Number 2, you're going to all your information is going to be kept completely private. The trust is on the federal level, and LLCs, S corps, and C corps are on the state level. I started my trust in Phoenix, Arizona. That's a corporation commission. I now live in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Secretary of State. The trust will not hold any state LLCs, S corps, or C corps. 40% of those get sued every year because anyone can go to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission website 24/7 and research them. Number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but if all your assets are in the Spendthrift Trust, you're worth nothing. I right now have $6 in my wallet. If someone tries to sue me, that's all they can get. And number 4, you're going to leave a legacy for future generations. Okay, we're going to go down. Page down. Now, the elephant in the room. How come your financial advisor or your CPA has not told you about the Spendthrift Trust? It's a great question. There are 1 million active attorneys in the United States. Only 4% are trust attorneys. In a textbook, Trust Attorney Study in Law School is called Scott and Asher on Trusts, 5th edition. It's also in Black's Law Dictionary if you're near a law library. Your CPA or your financial advisor will probably tell you, oh, the IRS does not like the Spendthrift Trust. They actually say this, and they say they don't like tax code 643B, and they don't like the Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. This is a memorandum they wrote on August 3rd of 2023. It's their opinion. Only Congress can change the tax code, and the Congress couldn't even get government open for, 8 weeks? Now, to go over this, these 5 elements are super important. Irrevocable means it goes from generation to generation. The Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust is 7 generations old. It has almost 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number, and each separate family files a separate 1041 tax return. Their money is not commingled. Second element, complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, the family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust. It's designed to avoid probate. So my mom and dad started the Gibbon Family Trust, not very original. When they both pass away, the trust dissolved and all their assets were divided to my two brothers and I. This goes from generation to generation. Discretionary. Whoever's a trustee or trustees gets to make the rules for all the beneficiaries. If I decide I'm going to leave 90% to one nephew and only 1% to all my other nieces and nephews, there's no infighting, there's no contesting the will, we can't do anything about this. A client of mine with the Beneficial Trust, a husband and wife who have 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles, thank God they weren't affected by the fires. Their adult daughter can live in one of the apartments rent-free if she takes 4 random drug tests per month. She has a problem. She actually took her mom and dad to federal court and sued them. The judge read over the trust and told her she had 2 options. Option 1, move out, start paying her own rent. Or option 2, pass the drug test and live rent-free. Personally, I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner this week. Non-Grantor. When my mom and dad started their my mom and dad started their living trust, my mom and dad were both the grantors and the settlers of the trust. When they both pass away, this made the trust dissolve and everything else. When you start a spendthrift trust, you're going to have someone who will never be a beneficiary or never be a trustee sign up to be the grantor or the settler of the trust. This is not a speed bump. I've done this for many of my clients. You are going to need their social security number. They're going to sign up to be the grantor of the trust, and then they're going to sign away as the grantor of the trust. If someone tries to research the trust, it's going to be based in Texas. That's where the law firm is. And then the grantor won't know anything about it. I used a family friend, Roy, who knew me before I was born. Unfortunately, he's passed away since then, but he signed up for being the grantor for both my business and my beneficial trust and then signed himself away. And then the final element, spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and both times it's been favored. You can't get more legal than that. Now, this is the 2025 tax brackets. There's 4 ways to file your taxes. Most expensive way is single. Unfortunately, I'm single and I know this. Second way is head of household. You're single with children 18 or younger. Then there's married filing separately. And then cheapest way is married filing jointly. If you get nothing else from this presentation, if you are married, please file jointly. Check out what they did on January 1st of 2025. They made married filing separately the same price as single, all the way up to the 37% tax bracket. I got to talk to a wife whose CPA told her she became a digital marketer. The first 5 months of 2025, she made $100,000. Her CPA said file separately because her husband had a W-2 job. When I showed her the numbers, that between the two of them, that they would save over $5,000 just changing from married filing separately to married filing jointly, she became a client of mine. She's now her digital marketing is in a 1040 tax return. His W-2 job still files a 1041 tax return, and we lowered his taxes to 12%, and she's saving 90. It's in Texas, so she's saving 90% on her federal taxes, no state income taxes. This is the 2026 federal tax income taxes. And again, a little bit cheaper head of household, but the big, beautiful bill. I actually quoted somebody started a trust in October, and I redid their numbers for 2026. They were at 24% tax rate, filing married jointly, and they got to save an additional $148 with Trump's tax brackets. Hey, $148 is more than I had yesterday. Now, to give you an idea, this is a presentation I made in Phoenix. If you're making $100,000 gross, including Arizona state income taxes, which are 2.5%, if you're single or married filing separately in 2025, you would save $17,847. If you're head of household, you would save $16,321 in federal and state income taxes. And if you're married filing jointly, you would save $13,371. 7 states do not have state income taxes. You would just save the 90% on federal income taxes. To give you an idea, this is an actual client. He called me on he got on my Zoom on January 3rd, 2025. He's a 1099 salesman in Virginia. He knew in 2024 he made $150,000 in 1099 income, and he was planning on making more in 2025. He's single, ladies. He drives a 10-year-old car. He lives in an apartment with 2 roommates. We used $150,000 just to give you an idea, saving 90% on federal taxes. It's going to be $25,962, including Virginia state income taxes that are at 5.75% is an additional $8,625. For the full year of 2025, he's going to save $34,587. He was paying his taxes monthly, and so per month, he's going to save $2,882. He can put this back into his business, his 1099 income. He could pay off his mortgage. He's living in an apartment. He could buy a new vehicle. He could take his family on a well-deserved vacation. He could give to his favorite charity or save for retirement. What he's going to do is he's going to take his $34,000 in 2026, put a down payment on a house in Northern Virginia. It's his options. This is the business trust. Now, my personal story. I became a real estate investor in late 2018 when my mom got sick. She got septic in the blood. My parents traveled from Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix, to Charlotte for a wedding. She got septic in the blood. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in the hospital for 15 months. She did have to have open heart surgery because the septic in the blood got into her pacemaker. She got better and came home. In 2019, with my mentor, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide, paid off all my debt, and had $50,000 in my bank account. Woohoo! I was a good little real estate investor. COVID struck around March 17th of 2020. My mom's Irish. We canceled the St. Patrick's Day party. On April 1st of 2020, my 3 properties did not pay me, so I had no money coming in. On April 4th of 2020, my CPA called me and said, congratulations. He actually congratulated me and said, my tax bracket, I made so much money in 2019, I went from 22% to 24% tax bracket, and I owed the federal government $94,000 in short-term capital gains. I only had a $50,000 saved. He's like, Sally, let's set up an appointment. We'll set you up on the payment plan. We'll figure out what you're going to do. I don't know why he congratulated me. Paying more in taxes is not something to congratulate someone on. A great book to read is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I went to bed crying that night because I needed another $24,000. I woke up at 5 o'clock the next morning. I knew I had read an article in the Rockefellers and Spendthrift Trust that's called The Office. I started researching that, and I took a HELOC off my paid-off townhouse. I bought this bank-owned reverse mortgage in July of 2020 for $20,000. It was going to start at auction at $50,000. I knew that $30,000 spread in between would be $7,110 in short-term capital gains. Because of COVID restrictions, it didn't go to auction until August 28th of 2021. Final bid was $64,326. Without lifting a hammer, I made $44,326 on one property only. At 24% tax bracket, I got to save $10,368 on this one property and put into more real estate. I also have the business trust because I have 3 online businesses. The beneficial trust is going to save the following 5 taxes. You're no longer going to pay short-term or long-term capital gains. Short-term capital gains are when you sell crypto, you do options trading, you're a forex investor, you're wholesaling, you're fix and flipping, you're doing auction houses, or tax liens. Interest income taxes are going to be when you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, you're doing the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where on the paper of the house, people pay me their mortgage. Creative financing or seller financing, or a forex investor. Yes, forex investors, you get taxed twice. You need to know about the Spendthrift Trust, Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're doing futures trading, you're doing commodities, or you're living off of dividends. One of my clients, I'm going to explain this a little bit more later. He was 70, she's 69. I was saving them on dividend income taxes that they were living off their dividends, and then also on their IRMA surcharge on Medicare. Per person, husband and wife, we got to save them $480 surcharge every single month because of IRMA. Rental income taxes. If you're in have vacation rentals, Airbnb, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily, you're in apartment buildings, you have commercial property, or doing Airbnb arbitrage. The only tax that's not on here is royalty income taxes. They're taxed a little bit less, between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers. So if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, you're an author, an artist, you're in the NFT world, you have copyrights, patents, or intellectual property, you will no longer pay those anymore. The late, great Robin Williams had the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. His 3 adult children pay no royalty income taxes on any of his great work. Long-term capital gains are either 15 or 20% when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or baseball card. This is a true story. Son saw my TikTok video. His father, Jim, and his 2 brothers built this restaurant 42 years ago. They were selling it as is for $3 million, March 30th of 2023. At 15%, they got to save $450,000. At 20%, they got to save $600,000. Jim had never been on Zoom. He asked me to call his business broker, Sam, so we could change the contract. Sam and I started talking. Sam's like, I'm going to make $30,000 on this one deal, and I've got 3 others coming up. Told Sam about my affiliate program. Sam started the business trust and told his 3 other clients about how to save capital gains. Sam calls the gentleman who's buying this restaurant, Michael. It's going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 different states, right around Kentucky, Ohio, and I forget what the other state is there. Michael starts the business trust, and Sam got an extra $1,000 on that. Now, IRMA is for people who are on Medicare. If you are making too much money, single, it's $106,000 in 2025. Married, it's $212,000 a year. They add everything together. Your Social Security payment, your pensions, your wages, 401k withdrawals, SEP withdrawals, interest income, capital gains, dividend income, rental income taxes, and royalty income taxes. This is a chart that shows you for Part B. In 2025, you're paying $185 per month. The husband and wife I was telling you about with the dividend income taxes, they still have to pay $185 per person, but they're not getting surcharged on their Part B and Part D of Medicare. They say there's 3.5 million seniors who are paying this surcharge right now. Whoops, that's bad. I don't have my how to contact me. Let's get me to another. Let's share to another thing. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me. My email is info@thetrustIsyou. Let me stop sharing. It's info@thetrustIsyou, and I have a free class on the Great Discovery. It's my first name, my last name squished together. www.sallygibbon.com. You're going to get a presentation. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I did not write. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content. You're going to get examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. I want to say thank you for coming to my presentation today. If you have any questions or want to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, or find out about my affiliate program where I pay $1,000 for a sold trust, reach out to me. I hope you and your family have a beautiful Thanksgiving and have a great, don't eat too much food, but have a great time. Take care.